So, hello guys. Yeah, I just wanted to give an update. I've been working on the app during the last 2 or 3 weeks. One morning I made another set of list entries, so I had a lot of ideas. I was mostly thinking of easy wins. You see some of them are ticked. Yeah, let's actually look at the release, the changelog first. Right, here's Noise Commander. Yeah, I didn't make a video for version 007. And here the addition was the new inst button. I hope you can see it here. Right, I should have this feature. Yeah, new ints here. Yeah, I'm still sort of wrestling with the whole instrument management, but that was part of the evolution. If I select a pad, like if you look at the number here, that's the instrument number. It works like a tracker. In this template, there's already some instrument numbers assigned. We have 255 slots available. With this button, you can simply create a new instrument slot and assign a category immediately. I think I currently don't have any samples loaded, so let me quickly load some. Yeah, for some reason this became a kick, and let's say I want to make it a snare again, so snare. And now I can kind of cycle through my snare samples that are loaded. I'm not going to go through all the fixes, although there was a lot of bug fixes, some pretty bad ones. Version 8, previously missing credits for BSD licensed Axolotl DSP code. Yeah, let's quickly have a look. I go down here, we can see first our patrons. Thank you very much. And then we have Axolotl, so there's the LP1 lower order low pass filter from Johannes Tellmann, the author of the Axolotl, and the audio delay echo feedback. Then the verb from Jaffa Spluffer, and the rapper from Remco van der Most, also known as Sir Sigsig. He was one of the most, or is one of the most prolific DSP developers on Axolotl. MDA stereo from Paul Kellett. Everything is mono, right? So the master has like this mono to stereo widening effect on it. Then ability to addition and load WAV files from the twin browser into the current instrument. And I think this is pretty huge. At least I thought it would be for new users. So if you go down here into the browser, you can then go and so every time you select a sample, it will be immediately loaded into slot 255. Yeah, and if you press enter, you can load it as a new category. So this folder, if it hasn't been in the list, will be added. And if you do it multiple times, the samples will just be added to that slot. So you see here the Uno Pro phrases directory has been added as a slot. So I would probably advise you, if you use it, just always select the bottom one, the new category. There should be, in the future, I will add something to like create a new instrument. So now you kind of have to go first like new instrument and then go browse and load. But yeah, it's still, I think that's pretty cool. And by the way, yeah, I own a Unipro synthesizer, and these are like some samples I recorded, and I think they are pretty cool. There used to be sort of an exception that when you're in the piano mode and the left and right D-pad buttons don't do what you normally would expect, which is to select different screens. And now you can still change the octave button when a key is pressed and you use the D-pad buttons, but additionally, you also have the option to use these plus and minus buttons here. In the future, I do plan to be able to shift the keyboard to the left and right, and I have a lot of plans, like also to make 2 rows so you can play 2 octaves at the same time. It's not there yet though. Okay, and then change new instrument creation dialog, remembers last setting, clear samples from selected categories rather than in categories. Yeah, that's also pretty useful. It used to be that if you press start, it would clear all samples in every category or every slot. But now I change it so that it will only clear the samples of the selected ones. You can see We still have 10 samples here in the snare and percussion, but the other ones have been sort of decimated or reduced. I'm really happy about this little thing here, because it used to be that you'd have to sort of tap multiple times to scroll through them, but now it's sort of like this grid touch select mode menu. You can select it by letting go, and then when you press this thing again, it will go back to the last one you had selected. For example, I'm switching between the piano and the roll mode, but if I want to switch between piano and slices, I can just do it very easily. And then just this weekend, I made these changes here. So I added support for loading 8-bit WAV files so that you can load longer loops. And I sort of figured if you reduce your sample to 8-bit and 24 kilohertz at 88 BPM, you can actually load 128 bars. I will load a little something I converted to that audio rate. This one. And because they're assigned to the different buses, I can, of course, change the volume of the buses individually. So here's the drums, and this is some audio, and I think the rees or yeah, the bass is on the bus 3. Oh, by the way, do you see soloing makes everything else red? It was kind of sometimes driving me nuts that I couldn't like visually know whether I'm in a soloed mode or not. So the next one is insert linear slices in tracker menu. Places notes evenly in current lane. So let's try it. Okay, let's do that here again. So insert linear slices. And yes, yeah, now we can randomize them. So it's always going to randomize all the slices in the entire track, not the selection. You know, I might add that later. But yeah, I think this is pretty cool. Oh yeah, and then here in the matrix editor, I added like insert row above and below because it always confused me. Oh, the delete thing should be in a separate row. Something's weird. I need to fix that. But yeah, like if I go here and say insert row above, that's what happens. And if I go here and say insert row below, that's what happens. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to playing with the duplicate instrument. So as you expect, it just creates a new duplicate version of the current instrument. So if we look here, current instrument is version is 4, and if I duplicate it, it creates one in slot 0, which I don't want. But let's say I can create one in slot 13 and 14 and maybe change the pitch on one of them. And yeah, I think this is going to be really useful just to make variations of the same sample. Like you can change the length or the envelopes. Turn loop on, and maybe and you see it loops. Oops. It's not really that well fleshed out, to be honest. There's things to be improved, but so now it's sort of drones forever. But if I set some length for now, it should be able. Oh. Anyway, what else? Oh yeah, the ducking. Yeah, let's do it. This one. Why does it sound so messy? Alright, so... yeah, if you press right on the D-pad, here in the bottom tracker companion view thing, there's now a ducking mode. And yeah, so it's currently hard-coded to be triggered only by channel 1 and 2, which is where I'm normally keeping my kick and snare. It affects currently bus 1 and 2, but not 3 and 4. So if I route the kick and snare to bus 4 or 3, like here it starts counting at 0, so that's why it displays as 3. I hope it's audible, like, so this is with ducking, and if I turn it off, it makes quite a difference. And this is like the full amount. I can also set it to 50%, for example. And 100% would be like full volume again. Yeah, I figured this is really important for the Beatober challenge. Well, actually, yeah, I didn't mention that. I'm gonna participate in the Beatober challenge on Instagram, where you're supposed to create a beat every day. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that, but every second day is my goal. Yeah, I'm gonna probably focus more on music making and less on developing in the month of October. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm a bit scared and worried because I'm really, really rusty. I was very successful with procrastinating and like almost unlearning how to make beats. I think this is all for the updates on the noise command. So version 9 is not released, but if you are a Patreon, you can download it with the Updater app by choosing the temp release when you're installing it. But yeah, so we have ducking, 8-bit sample support, slice insertion, and so on. And I'm gonna be participating in Beatober. Oh yeah, I noticed there is another demo party in Berlin, Germany next weekend, I think. So I'm looking forward to that, and let me know if you're going there or if you're watching it. I'm not going to be physically on site. Alchemy is probably like another topic worth its own video, but you know, it's a YouTube channel. It's a former acrobatic Cirque du Soleil performer and beatmaker, and he's using Bitwig mostly. It happens to be pretty much the sort of music I'm aiming to do, like halftime Neurobass. Like one really cool tip he had was this rolling sampler plugin. I can't show it to you, at least not with audio, because of Linux stuff. Yeah, and I really enjoy like being in his space and his community on Discord. We had a little chat, and I bought a lot of his sample packs, and also there's like one Bitwig presets pack that has a lot of generative effect racks. I really recommend checking him out. It's super cool. And yeah, I didn't know the artist Chi, which he was perplexed, I think. But yeah, I checked it out and bought like some of his albums on Juno Download, and I'm really liking it. Yeah, I guess that's it for the video. Thanks, and see you next week for the Beatober.